Yo, so what's going on, guys? So basically all the friends that I don't have been telling me that they're like, oh, can't wait to dust off the regime. You know, it was the king back in the day. It was the most used gun, even though even back then hand cannons were still superior. It just required a little bit more skill. The glory of the auto rifle is the fact that you pull the trigger once and you just path the enemy. Yeah, you're gonna miss a couple bullets, but those that are most consistent, landing the most precision shots, walk away with the kill. It was the easiest use, therefore it was the most used. And since nerfing it, hand cannons have stepped up into that territory and have dominated. What I feel about this is many of these people, including other commentators and streamers and stuff, have been saying, hey, the regime is going to be back, get prepared, get ready, and I don't think many of them know the current state that it's in right now, because it's not a threat right now. Like, I wish that every one of my enemies was using a regime, and in the current meta, it's just not going to be a functional gun. So what do we know that is changing about auto rifles? For starters, they're getting an increased base damage. The starting damage fall off closer to the player to emphasize its role as a close to medium range weapon, small reduction in base stability, and some AI buff. What we know about the damage fall off is this thing is going to be severe, but looking at the images on your screen, look at the distance. One is pretty much from Fellwinter's range, and the other one is just from a few feet behind that. And it loses, what, 20-25% damage in just that short distance change? That's a severe nerf. So that means auto rifles are going to need to get a pretty significant base damage increase to actually have any sort of function in the first place. Now, what people don't know about the regime is that it is considered the slowest time to kill weapon in the auto rifle category, period. And it's an exotic. There's a couple others that share the same realm, but those are legendaries. You can't really get mad at them for that. This gun was nerfed, I think, 3 times, and they were pretty significant nerfs each time. So to be honest, until the regime is functional again, or if it's going to have any worth or value in the patch, I think it needs an actual independent buff. And I know that sounds weird that I'm actually calling for a regime buff, but as of is right now, I would gladly take, you know, a handful of other legendary auto rifles before taking this one. Its perks and abilities do not give it enough. Focus fire is not that great, to be honest, at least on this gun anymore. And the regeneration thing is unreliable, so to be honest, this thing has not got a lot going for it. And I'm actually really shocked they didn't target this in any way to actually improve upon it. So, all these people that are saying, oh, hey, buy this gun from Zer, go dust it off, get used to it again, have fun, I can't wait to use it again. I'm sorry, but I pretty much predict that this gun is going to be as useful as it is right now. You're probably going to be better off with a lot of other auto rifles. I feel that pulse rifles are going to step into the territory and rule the world now anyways. And if we're talking, you know, close range or medium range, things like the Messenger, Red Death, and everything like that are going to just doo-doo all over this thing. That's right, I just said doo-doo. And I don't know, and that's what I just wanted to kind of prevent people from, you know, like investing a lot of time in worrying about the regime, because I don't think it's going to have a place in the new meta unless they actually buff it, you know, themselves. So what is the verdict on this exotic shard? Spoiler alert. Basically, the gun has a little bit of function because of the medium range reliability, because the focus fire does slow things down a bit. It gives it decent damage. It's the slowest time to kill auto rifle in the game when you aim down sight, and when you're actually firing from the hip, it has the same time to kill as the Kvalstov. That's right, guys, you're welcome. It's pretty much statistically up there with her right hand. The only difference is, with this gun, when you aim down sight, you are forced to deal with the focused fire thing. You can get her right hand and actually have that rate of fire and damage output with aiming down sight. So technically, the focus fire actually hurts this gun in many ways, because the only time you get that quicker time to kill is when you're hip firing, and that can be unstable and unreliable. So it's not worth having, to be honest. Perfect example is that gunshot right there. So her right hand is pretty much like this gun before it, and a lot of people used to do the thing with the regime where they wouldn't upgrade it, but nowadays with trials and everything like that, you need the higher damage, you need the damage output, so you have to upgrade and ascend your weapons. And even guns like the lowdown and first rule have a faster time to kill, a faster fire rate, and can be even more lethal in these closer quarters, which is where these auto rifles are going to dominate now because of that drop-off. So, the regime, don't even bother with it. This guy once won, but look what happened to him. Don't be that blade dancer.